Hello. I think we're live now. Gonna wait for the YouTube confirmation. As usual. In the meantime, let's load up some important links. And drink my nice friendly Coca-Cola. Zero, by the way. No sugar. Right. First of all, welcome everyone to the stream. It has been a few days. Let me just make sure that you can hear myself. First of all, welcome. Yep. I can hear myself. That means you can hear myself. So yeah, welcome to another Rust stream here on the Coding with Matt channel. It's been about a week or so that I've streamed last time, and once again we're going to be doing some Rust. In fact, we're going to be working on the same project again, which is the Urchin RS. Hello, Gatsu. How's it going, man? Working. Nice. Are you working now? Oh, so yeah, the stream audio is working. That went right over my head. Yeah, thank you for confirming. I think it might be a bit delayed, judging by the time of the comment. But anyway, so we're going to be working some more on the Rust CMS, right? And for that reason, let's just open the project itself and open code. Stream is working, but I was working 2 hours ago. All right. So you're working on your own project or actual like full-time work or something, dude? I know some students do work on the side as well. I myself did some work as well when I was studying, and it's not ideal, but it is what it is, right? So let's just take a look at what we did last time. The aim for this video is to essentially be able to render Markdown to HTML, right? For those who don't know, we are essentially storing all of the post information on the database as Markdown, because it's just simple text, right? There's no like markup language or anything like that. Well, Markdown is a kind of a language anyway, but it's just simpler to store and less verbose than HTML. But now whenever we get a post from the database, we want to turn that into a HTML, content, so we can actually display it. Random Nerd, hello man, how's it going? It's been a couple of streams since I've seen you last, I think, right? You were not here last time, unless I missed it. But welcome to the stream, dude, and it's good to see you again. I got an offer letter. Jesus, everyone's getting offers today, or on the stream, which is pretty good. I would love to hear what work you're doing, man. So, is it in software development? I assume it is, right? That's why you're here. And if it is, dude, let us know, what you're doing, because I'm always very, very excited for you guys to, to tell us good news. And definitely, getting a job is definitely good news here on the channel. Part-time retail work. I just applied for 4 student positions at tech companies, a financial company, and for 3 positions at a tipping sport agency. Yeah, they sound very good, dude. I will say you probably want to do more than 4 positions. When I was applying, I was doing quite literally like 7 a day. Just keep doing like applications until you can't anymore, because unfortunately that's the way you get jobs. I'm afraid that 2 is just 4 applications is good, but just to be sure, keep doing them. That's the advice that I would give you. Okay, I'm not actually signed up here, but we can take a look at what we did anyway. Yeah, when you start the stream, it's almost 1 a.m. at night. Oh, dude, I'm really sorry. I guess you're probably gonna be somewhere in like Asia-ish or Eastern Europe, like Russia. I don't know. Just yesterday. I'll be looking for more today as well. Yeah, all right, fair enough. Yeah, so you just started. That makes sense. Yeah, if you're just starting, then 4 is good. But keep applying, dude. Keep applying for those jobs and get the interviews. If I'm being honest, you're probably gonna go through like maybe like 5 to 10 interviews until you get an offer. But just know that that's normal. Everyone goes through that. So yeah, the important thing is not to give up. A lot of people give up because they think they're not getting anything, but actually, it is just the case that you just have to apply for like 20 different positions today to actually get an offer. It's things have changed, times have changed. Anyway, so yeah, last time what we did is we added a handler for the homepage, right? So in fact, we can just see what the what this stuff looks like. I've started using fast fetch, by the way. So for those who used NeoFetch in the past, which is like this cool kind of terminal application that you run at the startup of your terminal, it tells you the system details and stuff. So NeoFetch stopped being like actively maintained, and that's why I stopped using it. But then there's a new one called fast fetch, and this is what I'm using here for you guys that are interested. And this is just something you have to put on your bash RC or your like Z shell RC in my case. Let me zoom in a little bit because I believe that you guys can't really see the text very well on the stream, but now you can see it. Hello, it's Code. How is it going, dude? Yeah, so let's just run this and see what actually happened, right? So because if we do a nice debug on the Rust Analyzer and run the application itself, we will be able to hit it on the browser, and then we can see what's going on, right? Because essentially what I did is I added an index handler, and that will basically go to the database, pick all of the latest 10 posts that are on the database, and then show them in a web page. That's what we did. Very simple, very basic. There wasn't much actual like complexity in the last stream, which was, you know, good. And what do I have now? I did add something outside the stream, and I'll show you guys what that is in a second. 8080. So the this is supposed to be running. So the app is supposed to be running, but for some reason, okay. So we got something that was not provided. So this is what I've added in last stream. I've added actually a configuration parser here. So basically, you can configure the web server with a TOML file. These are all the options here. It matches whatever Urchin had one-to-one. So all the settings that we support on the Urchin side, on the normal Urchin, we'll support here as well. And the way I did this was very, very easy, actually. There's a TOML library for Rust. And if you have Rust and Serde, right, you can just basically create a structure like this one and derive the deserialize trait, as well as, yeah, just the deserialized trait. And once you've done that, you can do a like direct serialization from TOML strings to the struct itself, right? And the way you do that is just very easy. Let's see if I can find here. So you load up the string as a file, as you can see here. This line is what's doing that, and this is a function that I created just to look at the file system stuff. So it just loads a file from the file system functions and reads the entire contents to a file. Once you load the TOML content, it's just as easy as calling TOML from string, and then you pass the template argument, which is the type that you're going to be deserializing into. And it's very important that you have the deserialize stuff here, otherwise it doesn't work, right? And for free, you will get like error parsing or, you know, anything like that. So if you have a TOML that doesn't make sense, this will give you an error. And you can see here, because I'm actually passing the error up, there is an error there. Third, I got an offer letter from a company under the parent company Direct I for web application developer, but they just had a layoff earlier this year. I am scared they're going to remove me for no reason. Yeah, so random nerd, let me tell you something, right? Last year, when I left my job at Microsoft for, you know, personal reasons, I'm not going to go into those reasons here on the stream, but I too was unemployed for like a month, and I was pretty much looking for any new job, and it turned out that I managed to get a job at this very cool company that I still work for now, and it was a really good job, to be honest. It was Rust and C++ in the kind of like cloud development side of things. So I'll be, from what I understood, I was going to be working with cloud quite a lot, which in all fairness I still am. But yeah, as soon as I joined, they also did like some sort of like layoff and company restructuring, and I was scared that I was going to be let go for no reason. But the truth is, dude, like, they wouldn't hire you if they were going to fire you straight away. So don't worry too much, and just make sure that you're doing your job, and you are doing a good job, and, you know, you're doing the work you're supposed to do, and you're also giving your best, and, you know, I'm sure things will be fine. Don't worry too much. I was at a high school coding event on Friday, helping some kids program in Python. Helped 4 people there. That was a real smart second year. That was a real smart second year who wants to start coding a solar system in Rust. That sounds like a cool project, man. Yeah, that is, if you're volunteering to help people, I have massive appreciation for that. I used to do some of that at university as well. In my latest 4 years, I used to volunteer and do some of the lab helping and stuff. And yeah, it's quite good because you get to learn quite a lot as well. When you're helping someone and you encounter something you haven't seen before, you have to learn it very quickly so you can teach it, right? So yeah. Help him with the physics part. That sounds interesting, man. It seems like your physics is much better than mine. But anyway, now that I've taken you guys through the config, let's actually pass in the config, right? Because I think that's the problem here. So the problem is that I wasn't actually calling the application with the config because I was doing it through Rust Analyzer and that doesn't pass any arguments to it. But if I do it like this, it will do. And luckily enough, I already added a debug. So this is the application, Urchin application. And if we just call it here, this should start. Yeah, there you go. So now, what do we have? Invalid IPv4 address syntax, right? So something is invalid here. I don't know what. We're gonna find out. Exited program error. Yeah, let's just see what the hell is happening. So if I do that, maybe I made a breaking change. So config, we have everything that we need here. We have the links to the nav bar. Okay. So it does fail on the database, right? So let's just run that again so I can spot where the thing actually is. So database new. Database address. What is that? Config. I won't know. I need to just do this again. My physics is just basic stuff in kinematics and dynamics. I don't know a thing about magnetism. Neither do I. I used to know a lot more about mechanics than I do now. I took a lot of mechanics subjects in school, but then once I started university, I never really had to do physics anymore because I did pure mathematics, but that didn't really touch some of the physics stuff. But anyway, so Urchin, we are doing database address, right? So config database address. What is that coming up as? It is localhost here. And the database is 3306, right? So I don't see why that is wrong in any way. What does new take? It takes an IP, that's a string. So this is some live debugging that we're gonna have to do here. Just go into here and see what happens. Okay, so where is this IP actually used? Roots, and then we've got the IP, and there. Ah, yes. So we probably just forgot to put the port in here. So port. I'm guessing that's the case, right? But let's try it. Let's see how it goes. So I'll probably have to do a cargo build here. Complex numbers, scary. Complex numbers are fine, dude. That's the least horrible part of mathematics. I hate physics, man. It's crazy shit. It depends. I mean, some people like it. Some people have a joy in, or enjoy knowing complex things. I am not one of those, though. Error, invalid IPv4 address still. It's crazy. What am I doing here? CRM connect. So this is what we get. Like, what does a connection string look like for the MySQL driver in Rust? Because this is clearly not it. right? Maybe it doesn't like localhost. Maybe it likes whatever it was before, which was 000, right? So urchin. But localhost should in fact work. Let's try that one. Only idiots had my complexity. I don't know, dude. Oh yeah, there you go. It worked now. So it doesn't like localhost, but it likes 127.0.0.1. Which is good because now we can, as I said, we can hit this and fail to deserialize query string missing page number. So that's another thing that we probably broke. So let's see what page num is. Page num. Ah, yeah. So page num isn't there, right? And that's the thing. So yes, I see what I did now. So basically, I added a parameter here for the page number, something like this. So page num equals 0, and you would get the offset based on that number, right? So if you're on page 0, it's going to get the first 10. If you're on page number 1, it's going to get the next 10. So the 10 to 20 post and so on and so forth. But I need to have a way of doing this without optional parameter, right? So this is a problem on Axum. Not a problem itself, but if I do Rust Axum optional URL parameter, and I can see. Because I'm doing this with an extract, right? So that if you look at this here, I've got a query. And this query is automatically going to try and deserialize my URL parameters into the home handler parameters, right? Just what we're going to do. But I want it to be optional. That's the thing. I don't want it to be there all the time. Which means I might have to actually do things a little bit more manual now. Default for pagination. Set offset and limit. This guy has the exact same thing as me, by the way. He's getting an offset and a limit. Offset and limit parameters, which is essentially what we want here, right? Necessary cookies only, please. Option of pagination. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe, do I have option here? Does that work? Is that going to work if I do option? No, it doesn't work. Deserialize from SERDI struct. Wait, did this? Yeah, this has to be there. Okay, so what they're saying is that you can add a default deserialization here. Okay, I see it. Actually, I see. So if I do a SERDI default equals something like 0, does that work? Expected SERDI default attribute to be a string. Does that work? Default string. Wait, why does it want to be a string? This is not a string though. I saw a really interesting paging system on a site. They were paging based on timestamps. So the query would have a timestamp. So if you let the site come back and refreshed, you wouldn't jump randomly towards. Wait, what? I don't think I quite understand that. So if you can paginate based on timestamp, right? So if you refresh after 10 minutes and there has been changes on the website, you get all the new posts, which is what most websites do, I guess, right? It just makes sense that it is like that. Is the default tier thing? Yeah, let's see what the default thing is for third. Third default attribute value for the serialization. Wait, what's 30 default? Default be default. Oh, I have seen this. Yeah, there's this annoying thing that on Surdy, if you want to put a default value here, it only takes functions, which is not great, if I'm honest. Isn't there a default value, like macro for it? Surdy default. Oh, where am I typing? I'm typing somewhere else, bro. Surdy default value. Defaulting for a field. Let's look at the actual Surdy documentation, I guess, right? So default resource, and then they have the default resource here. But what if I just wanted to inline the value? I don't want to have to create a new function just to have it as a default value. Because that sounds extremely inefficient, doesn't it? But it is just the way you have to do it. There's no other way, apparently. I mean, that's fine, right? We're going to have to do a function default page number, which is going to return an I32, and then we are going to just simply return 0. And that is the function, by the way. It's so dumb. It's so dumb, but we have to do this. Do you see this? It's ridiculous. Yeah. But anyway, maybe if we do a cargo build now and we rebuild it, because if we don't pass anything, it's just going to default to this. That's what I'm hoping anyway. That's what we'll find out. I mean, if you're on page 10, even if there are more page posts and you refresh the content of the page, I see what you mean. So it doesn't change, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's cool, but at the same time, like, do you really need that? Because unless you're like posting something like, more than your limit of posts in the amount of time that it takes the user to go from one page to the other, is it really worth the effort? that's what I question. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing all of this logic just to make sure the user gets the same like content if they go from page 10 to page 11, even if if something was posted. But actually, if you did post like 2 posts or something in the space of like 10 minutes for some reason, then the user can just like go back or forwards, go forwards or backwards 1 page, right? They're not missing much. It's like it just feels like diminishing returns for me. It's something I would not implement on my CMS, basically. The page number changes instead. So yeah, I got that. I got that. Yeah, what do you think though? Do you see what I mean? I mean, it's definitely cool, but is it necessary? That's my question. That is my question. Right. And sometimes you have to ask the necessary questions. Sometimes you got to look at your code, and this is something that I honestly hope that you guys practice quite a lot. Sometimes you just got to look at your code and ask yourself if everything you've done is actually necessary. Because one of the biggest issues that I see with people that are new in the industry, and people who tend to overcomplicate things quite a lot, is that they get given a problem. Let's say, just for the sake of argument here, a pagination system for the website. And they will solve the problem in the most complicated, fancy way that they can think of. But actually, all they really needed was to pass in an offset and a limit to a database query, right? And that would have solved the issue very quickly in a few lines of code. And yeah, my point is just try not to overcomplicate things, because more often than not, the simplest solution is the best. And think about the people looking at your code as well. This is going to be a short, all right? I guess it will now. Yeah, I guess it will now. So you'll be on it again, dude. But it's just a rant. It's just really a rant that I like to I would like to say, because I've worked with people who do that, people who will just solve the problem in the most ridiculous possible way, and then you look at the PR and you're like, dude, was this all really necessary? Could you not have just done X, Y, and Z instead of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so on and so forth? You know what I mean, right? But yeah, the site had a number of entries that you would have to look through one by one, and it would have been very disorganized. Ah, I see. So yeah, in that case, it is necessary. Then there is a use case there for actually implementing that complexity, because if you have to, like, if you get a page with 10 posts and you have to look at them individually and maybe analyze them for like 10 minutes each time. Maybe it's like a company's like end of year finances or something, and you're trying to pick stocks or some shit. Then yeah, by the time you've read like all the 10 entries there, and you go to the next page, there will be new entries, right? So there's a use case in that way. But yeah, my point was more like if it was a simple website, just a blogging website or something, then the person making it might have wasted their time. To be honest, I am that guy who codes all unnecessary things, and then someone comes up to me and tells me that this can be done in a simpler way. And yeah, I mean, we've all been there. Like I used to be like this as well. Like especially when I started, right? When you start, you wanna show that you're good, and you wanna do very not compli. I'm not gonna say complicated, but um, complex solutions that are very extensible and solid and whatnot. But sometimes, most times, in fact, all of that isn't necessary. Maybe you can just you know, do one simple database query instead of like doing a very complex query and then filtering things locally by, well, yeah, timestamps and whatnot. You get my point, right? And there are, on the other hand, there are cases where you do genuinely need to write complex software, especially if you're doing things with like graphics, for example. More recently, I've been working quite a lot on the emulator that I've started writing like months ago, that I recently got the motivation to continue working on, the 6502 emulator. And some of the instructions there are complicated. You have to understand how the hardware works, which means that you have to do like complicated things, and you can't get away from that. In those cases, you do have to do something complex. But in most cases, software doesn't have to be complex. That's my point here. Yeah, when I see complex problems, my brain just goes, yeah, a complex solution. Let's go. Yeah, indeed, yeah. I mean, you want to look fancy, right? Who doesn't like to look fancy? I like to look fancy. What are we missing here? So, I forgot what I was doing. Yeah. So I started the website. I started the server. Let's see if I can just not pass in the page number now, and it works. You see. So with that default value being deserialized, I no longer have to pass that. But if I did pass something like page num equals 10, it doesn't return me anything. You see. In fact, page num equals 0 will do something, but because we have less than 10 posts, I assume that this is not going to do anything with 1, or it will, or maybe not with 2. With 3, with 4. So I am getting like 1 less every time, which is weird because what I actually expected is to get all of these posts now, but not on page 1. You see. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 here. If I do 0, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I still got 4. But then if I go to 2, somehow, 1, 2, 3, I get 1 less. So let's figure out what is actually happening here, because this is a problem. We shouldn't be getting anything past 1. There is a saying in my language, scratching your right shoulder with your right hand. Wait, I want to understand this one. I love sayings. Scratching your right shoulder with your left hand. Sure, you can do it. But scratching your right hand will be simpler and accomplishes the same thing. Yeah, that is true. I like that saying. In Brazil, we have, or in Brazilian Portuguese, there's a saying that goes something like "botando as mãos pelas pernas." It's like, it's something about putting your shoes, yeah, something like using your hands instead of your legs or your feet. But I can't remember exactly the saying though. I'm gonna look for it now because I do remember my granddad saying it quite a lot. Yeah, this is the one. Meter os pés pelas mãos. So, I mean, this is kind of the opposite. This is talking about putting your feet through your hands or something. And it's just about someone trying to do something that they're not capable of. But yeah, no, this is the opposite. It just sounded like a dig on complexity, but this is the opposite. It's like talking about someone who's an idiot trying to do something they can't do. So not a very good one. You're saying is much better though. But yeah, so if we look at the database, we do have it here. So we have get posts, I believe. This will be the function, right? So when we have page number 0, what actually happens here? So we have the cursor. Oh, this is just one thing, my dude. So what are we actually doing here? So the offset is 0 and the limit is 0. What? That's not right, is it? Should have been 10. Try that again. So when there's nothing in it, or page number, I expect the offset to be 0 and the limit to be 10. That's correct. And then before I see. Let's see if you guys can pick up the bug here. I'll highlight it. So this is supposed to be doing pagination on the database query, right? So it will get all of the posts in my database, and then I'm supposed to paginate it through the offset. So the input to this function here would be an offset, which indicates like the page offset that you are. So you're on page 0, page 1, and so on. And the limit is supposed to be the number of posts to get, right? So 10. I'm actually going to rename these because these are very bad namings, I think. So this should really be something like, n posts. But here we have post entity.find, which will start or begin a select query in my entity database. And this is just an ORM thing. We have to create a cursor so we can like move through all of the selected data here. This function is interesting because it says, get all of the posts that have an ID after this offset, and get all of the posts that have an ID before this offset, right? So if you guys can spot the bug, it's definitely in those 2 lines. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe you get a shout out from me. I can't really offer you anything, to be honest. I'm a poor streamer, but yeah. I'll give you guys 2 seconds while I catch up with the messages. And there is no messages to catch up. So I guess I'll just go for it. I'll just tell you what the bug is. Yeah, offset here is meant to be the page offset, right? But this has actually been used directly to compare with the IDs of the posts, right? Because this is what we do here. This is what after does. With the column greater than the input. Filter paginated result with column greater than the input, right? So we are paginating on column ID here. So all of the IDs will be compared against this offset. What really should have been the thing is like I should have had a like start offset here, which would have been the I guess the offset times the limit, right? And then we also need to have a end offset, which would have been something like offset times 1 plus limit, right? Or in fact, offset the wrong way. This should have, why did I do that? Let end offset be offset plus 1 times limit, right? But obviously this is assuming that we have positive. There's even more errors here. I'm sure that I can show you guys more mistakes in this logic in a bit. But this is the start and the end offset. So really, these are the things that we can check against. Once we use those variables, I'm sure that things would work a little bit better. So cargo build. When in doubt, the same code, run the same code twice, 3 times. At some point, it's bound to work. Just try it one more time, hoping to get a new result one more time. I mean, if your program is good enough and deterministic as it should be, you shouldn't get that behavior, my man. You're doing some complicated threading stuff there if you are getting different results every time. But yeah, so if now we go to the thing here and then we load it, I'm gonna just undo this. We should have everything here, right? But if as I said, now I expect that if I do page, or in fact, page num equals 0 or 1, we're not gonna get anything, right? And that makes sense. That makes sense because we don't have any posts or more than 10 posts, right? So next error, right? Next error. So page num equals -1. What happens? What happens in here? Because then we're going to get some weird behavior, right? We just have to account for those things as well. So the start offset is -10 and the end offset is 0. It's okay because obviously we don't have any column IDs that are less than 0. So nothing really breaks, but it's probably worth catching this in here as well. So we want to assert that the offset is positive. Is there a thing? It's positive. And that the limit is positive as well. Oh, is positive. That's what we want to do. Or if they are negative, in fact, we should have probably flipped that anyway. So is negative. And then this one as well is negative. Negative. If this is negative, then we should probably return an error, right? So we return a in fact we just bail. Do we bail? No, we just return an error of app error, build structure fields, and then we can just do what we must here. So error message, page number cannot be negative. And the status code, I don't know. Status code, bad request, I guess. And they should be into to turn into a string. Let's format the document. And we got a beautiful completely working program now. Ooh, what did I do there? Cargo build, as usual. The Wikipedia's page pseudocode for bogle sort is just too funny. Yeah, bogle sort is just funny. I'm yet to see a working program with bogle sort. I've not had enough time to actually finish watching it sort things. There you go. So yeah. Ooh, right. That was a syscall here doing God knows what. Okay, yeah. Which is good, you see. Now we... Yeah, I don't know why we're not getting an actual error, but it is what it is, right? At least we're not trying to get something. In fact, are we actually making sure that this is working? So what was it called again? So get posts, which was here, offset, page number -1. Yeah, no, we do return something. Oh, no, we don't. What? Ah, you see, yeah. It's because of this. It should have been an OR. Come on, you guys should be helping me out here. I think you should have caused the kernel to panic if the offset is negative. I think you should I think you should cause the kernel to panic. Yeah, I really think so as well, If you have a negative number in your query, the kernel should definitely panic. Okay. Now it's really correct. There you go. Yeah, good. So we are returning the error now. And that's what I actually expected. Yeah, the error page looks ugly, but it is what it is. Let's get to the actual bread and butter of this stream, right? So the point here, I'm sorry, I'm too tired to be helpful. No worries, man. I'm mostly talking to myself during these debugs. I'm not expecting anything. Now the bread and butter, I can only be a goblin now. Yeah, dude, that's what I need you to be. By the way, if you guys haven't done it yet, please like the videos. There's like 4 people watching. I appreciate that so much. And it's nice to be here with you guys, but I would appreciate a like as well, just so we can get more views, right? So what I actually want to do is to render Markdown to HTML, right? Because we do have Markdown things in each post. Now we need to be able to kind of render those Markdowns into HTML. I even corrected my correct statement. Damn. Yeah. Yeah. You even corrected yourself, dude, when you were right in the first place. Wow. So, yeah. Let's do the following. Let's merge this. I think this is actually looking okay for now. We need config, we need that, and we need this and this as well, right? So now we should have everything. And what did we do here? So we finishing, which is put the index and the, right? Let's add some more stuff. What did we do? Made sure that the page has a default value of 0. Made sure that we cannot pass negative page numbers. What else did it do? I don't know. I completely forgot. Oh yeah, fixed the database connection string, no localhost allowed. And I think that's it, right? Let's push that. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to merge it on my actual GitHub account. I'm gonna merge it. We are going to merge it. Right? Yeah. There's a pull request here. By the way, do you guys do a lot of CI/CD? Would you guys benefit from any CI/CD pipelines work on stream? Because you guys are probably watching a very good DevOps like person right now. I'm joking, by the way. I'm terrible at DevOps. But if that's something that you guys feel like I could cover on the stream, I'm happy to do that with whatever language you want. I can teach you guys how to create a pipeline, how to run automated things on GitHub. So like it builds your project automatically as long as you push it. Like code checks and whatnot, and artifacts and build releases and stuff. I can teach you guys all of that. Just let me know if that's something that's of interest to you guys. I'm very much just looking for new stuff to post and stream about, to be honest. It's very difficult being a small streamer here on YouTube. You know what it is, right? With bigger streamers, people who have like thousands and thousands of people watching them on YouTube every time they stream, it's just very, very easy to find content because you have people suggesting content to you 24/7, right? So they know exactly what their audience wants and they get it delivered on a plate to them. I don't get that, which is unfortunate. So I have to do my own research sometimes when I want to innovate, really, because most of the time I just do things that I want to code. But if I really want to grow my YouTube, I need to start looking at what people actually like, and I need to start streaming things that people actually like. And that is a difficult thing to do. It's very difficult to research exactly what's going to work and what's not going to work, because you have to do a lot of A/B testing, and you have to be on top of the YouTube analytics all the time. And yeah, it's very time consuming, but it is something that I have to do. Make reaction videos on coding. Yeah, I'm gonna be the new Primogen. Yeah, that's the thing with React streaming. It gets a lot of views, right? I mean, you're reacting to things that you're not creating yourself, let's be honest. Like if you're reacting to a blog post, someone else has done all the work for you of actually writing that blog post. So it's very much easy to, I'm not going to say easy, but is a lot, well, it is easier than making coding content because you can just look for a nice blog post by someone who will trigger people's emotions, and then you just read it on stream and add some reactions to it. It's a lot, easier said than done, to be honest. I do feel like I will probably be terrible at it. There are people who do a very, very good job at it, Primogen being one of them. Theo is the other one that I watch as well. Those guys are amazing at doing React content. But it's very, very difficult to actually do it properly, in a sense that like you're adding value to the content that you're reacting to. But yeah, I mean, I could try. Do a live stream on CV reaction. I don't know what to call it. Dude, yeah, CV. The CV reaction would be an amazing one. It will be difficult trying to get people to actually send me their CVs because, yeah, not many people want their CVs out there, right? Your subs might send you the CV and you can react, roast. I don't know. I feel like it would be fun. Yeah, it would be fun. That's an amazing idea. I might actually do that. I'm gonna know that now because I'm definitely gonna do that. I can try and like remove people's names from it. So random nerd, you gotta send me your CV, dude. Now that you've got a job, I will try and. Oh yeah. So CV reaction stream. I feel like I need to get at least something like I don't know, maybe five CVs from people that don't mind being roasted on stream, because I will probably be roasting them. Yeah, I'll send it. Thank you. I've believe it or not, I've already got like 10 different CVs from different viewers that message me and ask me to like review their CVs, which I do for free, by the way. If you are ever in need of someone reviewing your CV in the industry, I'm happy to do it for free. As long as I'm still small and there's not like 30 people sending me their CVs every day. But obviously I can't use those ones for content because I wasn't given the permission to use it for content. But yeah, otherwise I would. Anyway, so we've got that. Now we probably, oh, that's my big ugly face. Oh, I look kind of hot in here. One sec. There you go. Hair is much better now. I look a bit sweaty today. Sorry about that. I'm not actually sweating. It must be the lighting. Yeah, now let's actually add the post handler, right? So we've got a handler for the home here. Let's add a post handler. Which will get a single individual post and return it as a web page. That's what we're going to do. Right, so post handler. We want an extension of the database for sure. Yes, we do. And we want a query. No, we want a path extract actually now. So we will want the path extract. And we will actually need a struct for the post, right? So post handler request. Yeah. Which will obviously derive deserialize in this case. And it will hold one single thing, which is the post ID. Which is going to be, is it a U32, I32? I don't know. I think it's an I32, right? We can change this for sure. And yeah, we're going to change that to post request. Post handler request in here. We're going to import that from. Ooh, what's the issue, my man? What is the issue, my dude? Right, so there's a few things here. So we have an async function called post handler that's already giving me some errors. What are those errors? The size for the values UT cannot be known and compiles. What? The size for values of U8 cannot be known at compile time. Yes, because I've not actually fucking done this yet, have I? What? Why is path not being a... Yeah, I've got a query up there. That's what I wanted as well. Ah, I see. I've already got path in here. Ah, okay. Yeah, in this case, we can't do it. So we are going to have to change this to axiom. Or in fact, yeah, axiom extract path. Okay, better. About Primogen, the dude can yap like hell. Yeah, I wish I could yap like hell as well. He'll be watching a 10-minute video and the final reaction will be over an hour long. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's a true skill to be able to yap. It is a true, like, God-given skill to be able to yap and create content out of thin air. Because I sure don't have that skill. And I wish I did. In fact, I find myself quite boring sometimes. I don't know why you guys watch me, but that's just me. So remove unnecessary sync. Wait, what? Oh yeah, there is not unnecessary, I promise. Extension database log will be there. Necessary async. Okay, good. So ideally, right? So what we're gonna do here is like we're gonna do a database, let database. What do we do in here? In fact, there you go. Something like that. We're going to read it. I'll wait. That got rid of most of the stuff for us. And the idea is to call, get post or something in the database. Get post. Oh, we already have a get post implemented. No, thank you, God. Thank you. About CV stuff. I know my CV is bad. I showed it once to a girl who works in HR, and she said it was fine, but spars. Okay. I mean, that's not too bad, dude. It would be worse if you showed it to her and she started crying. So yeah, then I would hide myself. It's what they say. The worst they can say is no, right? When you ask them out, the worst they can say when you show them your CV is you, and yeah, if they act disgusted, I know you. That makes you know that you just need to redo it. You just need to redo it. I've got another idea. Things you are doing wrong as a programmer. One of the points could be complex solutions. Yeah, solutions to easy problems. Yeah, that makes sense. Dude, that word there made my brain go soins. I was like, what? Do I speak English? I don't know. The worst thing she can say is that your CV is bad. Nah, there's a lot of things that they can say about your CV that's definitely worse than bad. Trust me. Okay, yeah, so we already have that post ID there. So really, is the request.post ID in here, and then we do a wait as well. Right, and we have a result, and then we can do that. Hopefully. Yeah, boy. So we already have that working for us. And post contents, what do we have? We have title, content excerpt. Yeah, so this is basically everything we need, actually, which is amazing. I am going to pretty much create a new view for the web page, and then we're going to return that, right? So let's remove that. Where are my views? Here. So let's create another one in here. So let's call it the post.html. And in here we have an article, and we're going to have a h1 for sure in here. h1 for sure. We're going to do a post title, I think it is. And the title is going to be, again, post.title there. Hi, Anton. How's it going, man? Good to see you. Do you already have a layout for pages? I'm about to create those right now, so you're about to notice that firsthand. Now, what are you asking me? Are you asking me if I want someone to create a layout for me? And yes, dude, if If you know some front end, I would appreciate some work though. Dog, I would appreciate work. You know what I mean? But yeah. Do you have a layout about? I don't know why you're correcting yourself there. I recently watched the video and VPS hosting. I'm looking to make a browser multiplayer game, so I would need to have continuous integration if that's what it's called. Yeah. Continuous integration is what CI/CD is called, yeah. And it's about doing things automatically on the pipeline. And then we have the post content, right? So the post content, okay. Do we do it like this? Yeah, I think we do, right? So we show the content in there. So we have for each post, we don't actually have that. Yeah, I think that's it, basically. This is what we're going to go for. And we need to pass an object that's got a title, content, and yeah. Right? So what did my HTML do here? So the index. It should have been the excerpt. Excerpt. That's what that one should have been. And then this should have been the title. Okay, let's fix a few things, right? Doing well, working my job. You? I'm doing good too, man. So it's good to know that you've been doing well. I'm glad to see that you're doing good at your job as well. And it's yeah. When tired, can know English. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's the same for me, by the way. Whenever I get tired, words for me just disappear. They don't exist anymore. Hello, Slim. Hello, dude. Oh, man, I'm getting so many friends now. I'm feeling popular. Feeling popular today. Let's copy some of that environment shit, right? So we had this. We're going to copy and paste it here. One of the tasks that we can do is moving this environment up the stack so we don't have to create a new environment template to kind of, render things all the time, because this probably takes time and we don't have to do it. We kind of have to do it once, right? So we get the post and we have the HTML here. Now HTML needs to be the content, right? So HTML, we're going to call read file, I think it is. Yeah, read file. And then I'm going to put the views directory. Or maybe not. Hope you're well. I'm doing well, dude. Yeah, I'm doing very well. I am once again going to London at the end of the month. So, dude, if you're free, let me know. I'm going on the 28th. So I might be free for a Saturday afternoon until I have to go to an event. So if anyone here is in London and wants to meet up in real life, let me know, dudes. I think it's a good idea to have one layout HTML file and render content inside layout using template engine. Yeah, I agree. We have a template engine here though. So we have this environment thing, which is part of, I forgot what it's called now. Mini Ginger. So this is like a Rust crate that basically simulates what Ginger 2 does in Python. And it has very few dependencies as far as I could tell. And it's mostly written in Rust. Well, it's all written in Rust really, which is good because it seemed very minimal. But I'm not sure if it is now looking at this file. But anyway, it does the job. And for now, this is what we're going to be using. It would be amazing to have something like Temple. Like, I still haven't found anything as good as Temple for Rust. And it's a shame because Temple is amazing. Temple lets you work with HTML or Go in the HTML just like you can do with PHP. And I haven't found that in Rust in any way. So I do miss Temple, but it's, yeah, we're just going to have to make do with what we have here. Yeah, so what am I actually doing here? So map index, add Temple, HTML. Yeah, so I actually have like an absolute path to something, which is not what I want in the long run. I am definitely going to get the views directory. But this is what we're going to do now. Right, we're just gonna put a long string here, absolute string. I know it's not ideal. I just want to see if it works. I'm gonna put in the post page, and then we have the HTML here. We can render things into, and get template. Could not get template, and then we have to actually parse it. Right, parsing is the last thing that we need to do. Render, that's the one. Index template index template data. What we can do is temple.render. Does that work? Will this work? Yeah, kind of, yeah. So we did create one just for that. But I think what we can do is we can just pass in whatever we had here, right? We can reuse the struct that we had, which would be the get post response. And the get post response will just be what we... Wait, so the get post response have a serialize? Yeah. Does this one also have a serialize? Do we need that? Yeah, we need a serialize. Interesting. But the point is, how does it know that I called it posts? For posting posts. Ah, I see. So in this case, posts, you know, whatever comes in through the struct is on a global namespace. Like the attributes will be on a global namespace, which means that these I won't have post.title. I just have title here, and I just have content here, and I just have title here. Okay. And I hope that works now, right? So I think we might be ready to go. So let's do that. Let's do this. Remove that. And yeah, we have that post content or something. Yeah, we rendered that. What is the problem here? Unused result that must be used. Okay, so yeah, we clearly have to pass in to map the arrow in here. Let's just format the document. Okay. Okay, yeah, that sounds better. And finally, in here we can just wait a second. Where's this going to? Right? No? Let template. Yeah, it just goes there. It just goes there. I can put it there. Right. Beautiful. Now we should be able to just do a cargo build again. And let's test it out, shall we? Let's test it out. So if I run urchin, I don't want any of that. Let's just remove that breakpoint real quick. Localhost 8080. Let's remove that breakpoint as well real quick. Okay, yeah, I mean, weird that we have the excerpt as the content. Oh, wait, did I swap things around? I think I swapped things around when adding it. I'm pretty sure. So this is supposed to be showing the excerpt. But the excerpt apparently is the content. You can see a lot of markdown here, right? So I guarantee you that whenever I do a post insertion. So if I do a get post, which I'm in lib, add post, let's see what's going on here. So content to string, right? So if I do add post, it's supposed to be title, excerpt, and content, right? If I look at add post, I guarantee you that I swap these two here. Title, excerpt, content. Title, excerpt, content. Yeah, told you. Freaking told you. Which means that now we have to like undo our database, and yeah, which is a problem. So do I even remember CRM? Migrate down. Does that work? Right? Does it work? Migration cargo. Yeah, okay. So now if I do this, migrate up, Yeah, I just undid my database because otherwise it's going to be a problem here for us, right? If I run Urchin now, I should be able to see nothing. There'll be nothing here. Absolutely nothing. Good. They should probably be asked on Discord, but I want to hear your thoughts on my possible setup for my game. Front end, React, game graphics, 3.js. Back end, Java Spring Boot. Doesn't sound bad. Sounds like a solid plan, to be honest. I don't know what 3.js is. Is that like a game engine? 3.js? Yeah, it's a JavaScript 3D library. Oh, I've seen this. I think this is what Robin, a friend of the channel here, uses for his 3D stuff on his website, and it looks really good. I am like very impressed that you can do these things with JavaScript. But it, look at how slow it is, though. That's the problem. If you did this with WebGL or something, it will probably be a bit quicker, right? Dude, no. It's literally crashing my computer. I don't want to like blue screen. Let's take a look at this one. Maybe it's a little bit more responsive. Garden 0. Garden 2. Okay. No, this dude, do not use 3.js. Look at this. It makes my computer blow up. Oh my god. This is terrible. This is actually terrible. That was crazy lag there, yeah. I want to see it working though. Even the stream is lagging. Yeah, maybe don't use 3.js. 3.js is a terrible idea. I mean, let's see if there's this Mario-like thing in here. Jelly Mario. Use my arrow keys. Is it still lagging? No. That's it. Yeah, think about it. Think about it. As you can see, Crossy Road is pretty good, right? It just seems like none of these apps are actually lightweight. Like, why? It's just 3D rendering. Why can't it take me home? The demos worked fine for me. Yeah, maybe it's something about my computer. Maybe my computer is just too old. Sorry about the audio there. But the thing is that like it's fine if you do things with WebGL instead. Like this works fine. This is actually okay. I am getting no FPS though, but this is fine as far as it goes. My GPU is being used completely for the stream, by the way. That's probably why it's lagging so much. Like OBS just hogs my GPU, my NVIDIA card. But at the same time, I can render WebGL fine. It doesn't lag too much. But this 3.js thing is just not working at all. Like none of the apps I tried are working. Let me try one that looks fairly simple here, and then we can figure out, right? So this one is the world. Maybe not that one. That one is just some code with some shit on it. No, it doesn't work. There's a car. Clara.io. Void. See, none of these websites are loading. Like, first of all, none of them are loading quick. No, try some fancy shit. Let's do it. I mean, this is pretty good though. This has actually been the best so far. But like, what does it do apart from having these things on the background that render at like 1 frame per second? Yeah, supposed to be something, I guess. What about this one? Loading. Now this one is pretty responsive, I will say. Oh, this is actually pretty good. Like really, really responsive. Look at that. I love it. I'm loving this one. This one is actually pretty good. Ooh, I like this. I like this model. This is a really good demo. Go to the examples pages. Examples. I mean, that's what we had, right? Okay, no, this one is WebGL, right? It's saying, I mean, it has to be WebGL anyway to do 3D. But my point is that maybe that 3JS library is adding too much stuff on top of WebGL. But yeah, I don't know. Now this is a bit unresponsive for me. Let's try a new one. Like 1 FPS. I think it's just the stream. It's 100% fine for me. Yeah, it might be just the stream. As I said, this one is more responsive. My OBS just like hogs my GPU. Like there's no extra GPU to be used anywhere. This one is a little bit better though. I feel like this one will be even better. Nope. There are more vertices on this one. Try off stream. Yeah, I will try off stream for sure. Anyway, what were we doing? Yeah, so we're gonna run some of the admin stuff now and add some posts because I want to be able to get them, right? Just so we can render the markdown. It shouldn't be that difficult for us today. That is something we can do fairly quickly. Let's go to the admin app and do a debug here. I just want to see what it looks like. Okay, not too bad. If we debug this thing and run the admin app, let's say, we haven't yet integrated the config in here. That's something that we're going to have to do. That's fine. I will create that actually in a second. So we got postman, we got urgent admin. We're going to add a post. Something just failed miserably. Like what? Connection pool timed out. What? Okay. Like why? Why did it fail so bad? Where's my main function? So database new 3336. So urgent admin. In fact, is that not the right port for it? I think it might be. So we have the urgent config. Yeah, 3306. Yeah, I think it's meant to be on 3306 instead. Interesting. Yeah, I have no idea why it was working before, because I swear I connected to that particular port in the past. Yeah, my application is running on port 3. Yeah, so it did work now. For sure, it did work. If we just add a post, right? So we got posts here, and we change it to port 3000. We got the body as we expect, and then we send it. And then we got a post ID 1, right? And then we can set another post ID 4. Post ID 5. Let's just add a few, right? 5. And then 6. And then 7. And then 8. And so on and so forth. You get the gist. Just so we can have a few. Oh, I've done 8. I've done 10 now. I'm just going to put random numbers here. Okay, we've got 10 posts. We've got 11 now, just so we can do some testing as well. I'm going to stop this, and I'm actually going to run the app and see that we get the right stuff now, right? So first of all, in here, we should get just the excerpt, as we do. But also, if I do, is it posts 1 or something? That will not work. Yeah, that will not work because we haven't actually added the handler for it. So let's do that. We've created a function, we just haven't added a path to it. That's what we haven't done yet. Okay, so that was post handler, right? So we are going to add post handler in here too. It's got to be post, and then we have, I'm pretty sure this is how we do the handlers. Yeah, no, it's different. Post ID like that. And this will be a post post handler. That is it. And then we have to, of course, import this from Axum. Laravel has a really good way of generating mock data. There is just a library, I think, there of the bow which does it. You can just add to that your migration and the data will be generated. Really cool, yeah. I wish CORM had that as well. So it just populates some test stuff. I'm heading to bed now. Have a good stream. Thank you, Random Nerd. Thank you for joining, dude. And I'd appreciate if you can leave your like before you drop. But apart from that, man, have a good night. Bye bye. Yeah. Let's just do a cargo build here and then see what happens. In fact, nothing will happen because this is actually wrong. It should have been just ID. This is what we should have had. Post ID unknown field. Yeah, it is. Yeah, GTX, I mean, you will probably enjoy Rust, man. You seem to like Java a lot and stuff, but I think you like the tools in Rust quite a bit. Did you try Laravel before? Because I tried it and it just didn't feel right. I don't know why. No, I've never actually tried Laravel. I did do a lot of PHP back in the day, but this was, I don't really have a say in it anymore because that was PHP version like 3, 4 back in like 2009 or whatever. Java mentioned, yeah. I'm saying that because you like Java, you might also enjoy Rust. It has a really good toolchain, and I would say it's probably nicer to write than Java, but that's just me. I might be biased here. I like C++. Yeah, C++ is good as well. It's not nice to write in it though. Let's be honest. No one likes writing in it. Oh right. So what happened? Post ID, post 1, right? That is what happened. We got the wrong one. So it's posts. And then we have cargo build here. I tolerate Java. You tolerate Java. All right, I thought you did it quite a lot because, yeah, you seem to mention it quite a lot when writing backends. But what I'm saying is, instead of having the Java as your backend on that game, try Rust because it has really nice libraries. And it compiles to binary as well. You don't have to have a JVM installed for you to be able to run your backend. A little bit more lightweight. Java is the only way to get a job where I'm from. Ah, I see. Are you from Romania by any chance? Is Romania where you're talking from? I'm gonna guess that it is, right? A lot of Java developers in Romania. Okay, 8080, and then we've got posts. We've got 1. Everyone is using Java here, every company. Okay, I'm still waiting to hear where you're from, man. Still waiting to hear. No, Slovakia. Ooh, that was a different one. Yeah, Slovakia. That surprises me. I used to work with people from Slovakia. We before I left Microsoft, we merged teams with these guys from Slovakia. They were really good, really really good. So why is this not working though? Get post handler. Why? Yeah, why are we not reaching that page? I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on. Post ID, right? And I've done it in the exact same way. Have I built this? I have built this, right? I'm not tripping. I have done a cargo build, correct? Or maybe not. Maybe I hadn't done that. Check path syntax. Yeah, I've checked the syntax. It was right. I think it was just a build. No, it wasn't. What? So the path syntax. 8080 posts 1. And this is exactly what we have here. Posts. Right? Let me just copy. I'm just going to copy and paste this just in case. Maybe because it's post method. Yes, you are right. You are right, yeah. How stupid of me. Yeah, so really we should have a get method here. Thank you. Thank you, dude. I don't know why I proposed, to be honest. So the method is wrong and it's not reaching the handler. You are absolutely correct. Thank you very much, and that should have fixed it. It's either Java or .NET. The job market is split on that. But I think you can do more stuff in Java. And also, Java is everywhere. No jokes this time. Yeah, that is quite right. So, because Java was so widely used back in the day, like early 2000s and, even early 2010s, it was still used when I was working in my second job. Quite a lot, actually. Then, yeah, there's a huge amount of software that's still written in it. And that means that companies will be still hiring for Java for the upcoming decades. I don't think it will change too much. But 70% of venture jobs is in Java. Yeah, that's quite a scary statistic. 70% in Java. That's crazy. Okay. Can't reach this page. Why? Oh yeah, it's because I haven't run it. Let's try it again. Yeah, there you go. So we Gucci. We Gucci. And now something works, right? So we now have something that actually works. Yeah. Good. So, you guys can tell exactly what we're going to do now. So we're going to turn this into actual HTML, right? And let's do that. Let's see exactly what we need to do. So Markdown HTML in Rust. My intention here is to get a crate that is exactly, well, not exactly, but very, very small in its code base and also not many dependencies. If I can get those two together and something that's fairly actively maintained, I would be very happy. Now, if we can't, that's fine as well. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. The ratio between front end and back end is about 40 to 60. Okay, yeah. That's not bad. That's pretty good. I would say that here in the UK, we have a lot more back end jobs than the front end. Is that correct? Yeah, I think we do. Which kind of makes sense anyway when you think about it. Like for every button that you add to a website that does something, you need like 2 or 3 other people writing the functionality on the back end, right? So it makes sense that we have more back end jobs. Right. UK has a lot of banks also. Yeah, UK has a lot of banks. They're quite difficult to get into. I mean, I remember trying when I started coding, when I just came out of university, but yeah, getting into a bank is quite difficult. And we have a lot of financial institutions here as well, like a lot of finance jobs that pay really, really well. But dude, those are so difficult to get into. Like I tried, but I could never do it. The salary is amazing though if you get into one of them. The salary is life changing. But yeah, you got to be lucky. Got to be lucky. So Markdown RS. This is a crate that reuses the old name, the old crate, and lower. Okay. So let me just search for crates.io. I'm gonna maybe just search for Markdown in here and see what we get. So less than 1 million downloads. Where is this? Coverage, GitHub docs, crates.io. It doesn't say how many downloads it has, does it? So we've got dependencies here. Not very many, if I'm honest. Markdown it Funo. It sorts by relevance, right? So let me just sort by all-time downloads. Pull down CMark, a pull down, a pull parser for common mark. It's pretty cool though. Priority queue implemented as a heap. Okay, no. I just want Markdown. Yeah, let's do by relevance. I think the best thing we can do is relevance here. Markdown RS. See, that has like no downloads in it though. That's the problem. But it was updated a year ago. Okay, yeah, I don't know what to do now. And other businesses that don't need much UI. Yeah, so yeah, that's true. There is a lot of businesses here in the UK that don't need much UI. But the reality is, I mean, every tech business here in the UK has like a dedicated back-end team, and a dedicated front-end team as well. If not many of them, by the way, even small companies, small startups here in the UK, they have like a lot of people working on the back end of things. Which means that there is a lot of jobs around, especially like if you go to a town like London, there are so many. And I guess, because of the language, it probably helps. Like every programming language is essentially English, right? So if you know English, you have an advantage. A lot of the tech has been invented here in the UK as well. So it just makes the UK like a kind of like an attractive place for companies to hire. Maybe just a little bit less attractive than the US, but I would say probably the second best like attractive place for companies to hire. The US is a little bit different, obviously, because like generally, if you're a very good developer, you will be poached by an American company and you get a very good salary in there, Silicon Valley, San Francisco. And also, if you think about the actual like work laws, the US is much more relaxed for companies, right? Because they can get more out of paying you than they would here in the UK. So you get a salary in the US, but actually, if you look at the number of holidays that people take in there is much less compared to here in the UK, which is something that you need to do by law. You have to provide your employees something like 20 odd days of holiday a year plus the bank holidays, which are national holidays. So you do get overall like around 30 or so. There's no way you get that much in the US, right? Especially like I've spoken to people that I have worked with recently that have lived in the US and they moved back to Europe because of those exact reasons. It doesn't feel like you get much time off, and that I think is why the US is so good for tech jobs, because companies know they can get more out of you than here in Europe, right? But as I said, the UK is also very attractive because there's less language barriers, very smart people in here, a lot of good universities that they can hire grads out of, and yeah, it's not a bad place if you can make it here. I can't really speak for other places in Europe because I don't really have much experience in there, but I hear that Germany is also a pretty good place to hire, software engineers. And in fact, whenever I work with Germans, they tend to be very good and very professional. I love working with Germans. So, but anyway, that's just a little rant on the business side of things. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do. So to me, Markdown, well, this one here. No, this is a new crate that reuses a node name, and the old crate 0.3.0 and lower has a bunch of problems. This is 0.3, so is it reusing the name? Make sure to use the new crate currently in alpha. It doesn't mention what the old crate is though, does it? Oh, okay. So this is the one. Wait, so Markdown is there's two crates on crates.io that point to the same GitHub. And okay, yeah, so maybe this is the best one then. It was the best anyway, by the number of downloads. Or even the polling platform like Slido. This may seem like patting myself on the back, but Bratislava, the capital, is a big center for tech. Did you know that ESET is a Slovak startup? I don't know that startup, but I'll take a look now. I know Slido. I've seen Slido, but not Asset. What do they do? Yeah, I know that Slovakia, has a lot of good engineers. As I said, when I worked at Microsoft, they have a very big they had a very big team in Slovakia. So generally, when you have like one of these big companies, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, and they have like some sort of like headquarters in your town, it means it's good for hiring. So yeah, is this the one? Asset.com. We're protecting digital life. Oh, cybersecurity. Nice. So they do cybersecurity. What's the other one you mentioned? Stygic. This one looks fancier. It's maps, GPS navigation. Okay, so they provide like a backend for navigation, I guess. Or is it their own actual like app? Oh shit. They actually give you like a nice view of it. Wait, what? They give you the road view? That's what I was getting out of it. I mean, this is fine, and yeah, but this is interesting. This is better. Like a 3D view of where you're going. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. I like it. I like it, Picasso. All right. Anyway, yeah, let's get this Markdown. Was it just called Markdown? It was just called Markdown, right? Craze.io. Markdown RS. Cargo add Markdown at. Yeah, okay. So we'll add the alpha one. So if we look at Urchin RS, we need to go to Urchin app. And we have that, right? What happens if I just do Markdown? Oh, no, that's not what I want. Yeah, I want the newer version, right? Updating Markdown 030 to, okay, yeah. Okay, so how do I use this? Let's see. Cargo add Markdown. Markdown to HTML. All right, so we just call Markdown to HTML. Easy as. So HTML contents, right? So basically what we have to do is to turn the post content into HTML, right? So we are going to have to do the parsed contents or parsed post, and then we do some, was it post? What is it, get post response or some shit? Yeah, that's the one. So title is equals, actually we're going to do it even better. So content, that is going to be equals to Markdown to HTML post contents dot content, right? That's it. That's all we need to do. And the rest of it will be from post contents. That is it. And yeah, we can do parsed post here. Let's stop that. Let's do a cargo build. Beautiful. Let's run it. And then hopefully when it gets to look at something nice. Okay, so we have this. We have that. That looks better, doesn't it? It looks better. We have an image here. Okay, yeah, we've done it. So we got the Markdown post thingy. Does work. Piker, high quality, fast image resizing browser. What the fuck is that? Why am I advertising that? Okay, this is cool. This is funny though because I copied this from like I googled something like a Markdown content example, and he gave me like Markdown content. But these guys were smart because they're probably sponsored by these two guys here for sure, and they put their links in the Markdown example, knowing that most people or a lot of people would just copy and paste this into like random websites, so they get free views. Babblefish, human friendly, whatever in what I don't know what that is in JS, but yeah, I like it. I like it. Anyway, there is a lot of other stuff that we need to do though for sure. So, oh, okay. What have we changed so far? We've got the views. We definitely got these views post HTML thingy, and then the rest of them. So we changed the main. We changed that. Changed that. Changed that. I would like to move to a new branch as well. So add post handler. Add a post handler, right? That's what we're going to do. Add get post handler. Let's just fetch origin main, because I'm going to rebase this just to make sure it's all up to date. Get rebase. Ooh. Oh yeah, I haven't actually done it. So this is adding the post handler. What do we have here? So in here we've got handler function, added dependency on Markdown rs to render HTML. We fixed something. Fixed the templating. Did we fix anything? I can't remember what we did now. That's what we did here, right? Yeah, so we're gonna do that, something like that. And that should be pushed. There was something I was gonna do now. I forgot what it was. Yeah, I'm gonna sort out the environment thing, because basically this is some of the like refactoring work, I guess, that we can do right now. To render HTML, we have to call or to create this element called or an environment element that's from the mini Jinja thing, and I guess that holds a bunch of state for parsing the HTML. I don't know, but we can share this object with other things, right? In the same way that we share the database. So in other words, we can kind of create that environment here, load the pages once only, and when it comes to serving those pages, when it comes to serving, for example, the index, which requires parsing that index template, we already have the file loaded, right? And that's what we're going to do. That's what I think I'm going to do right now. So first of all, I'm going to copy and paste some of that code to the start. I'm going to check out a new branch as well. So let's call refactor HTML. HTML templating environment like that. And yeah, let's just copy some of that, right? So we've got the read file here is one of them. We've got the template here. So this is the goal. The goal is to have this. Yeah, the goal is to have this here created in the main function, right? So that we have a try main function here or something. So yeah, essentially, we load the database. That's fine. If we can actually look at a database, then we can start creating the environment. Circling back to 30 minutes ago, I watch you because you have a nice voice and I like to listen to you while I do stuff. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that very much. I mean, I like having people watching me, to be honest, when I'm coding, because it's a lot more socializable than it is when I'm just writing things on my own. And yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, I've always enjoyed teaching people what I know. I've always enjoyed helping people with coding. You know, this is something I've done since I was like in college, helping my friends and stuff. And I progressed to university, you know, helping my friends with their assignments and then helping or working as a lab assistant and stuff. And yeah, blogging after that. So yeah, doing the stream is yes, it is something that I enjoy doing very much. I don't just do it because I want the clout, if it makes sense. Have you gone to events with kids and teaching kids? Not for coding. I mean, I did used to sort of volunteer at this university thing where you take kids to like theaters and cinemas and stuff. Kids that don't get much attention because they have like special needs siblings. So, you know, giving them some time off from all of that, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I've thought about like volunteering again and doing something related to coding. So I think it's good to do that sort of work if you can, right? But the only problem for me right now is time. Like I get very very little time. I mean, I've been working quite a lot in the past like few months just because it's getting quite busy at work. And then after that, I'm trying to make content, and that, you know, you combine that with my personal life. I've got family, I've got a relationship. Yeah, it's very very difficult to find time elsewhere, man. You're gonna see what I mean in a bit. So when you finish university and you get your job, I'm sure that you're gonna come up with the same problems as as I do. Oh no, we wanted that. So let's call this the template environment, right? And then we add the index to HTML. Can we abstract this? Yeah, we probably can, right? So we can do something like function create template environment. Something like that. This will change for sure. This will be something else. Okay. Yeah, now obviously we need to add each page view that we have here. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So I am very tempted to kind of have like a file system thing that will kind of circle or find all of the files that have a .in it, .html.in, and create them as views. Like, you know, having a for each, you know, for each kind of .html.in file in the views directory, we're going to create a particular view for it. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Working 40 hours a week only leaves like 40 plus 16 hours of free time. Minus the commute and the necessary duties. I guess that's half, so about 28 hours to distribute. Yeah, I mean, it's quite scary, like how much or how little free time you actually have once you start working. But, you know, unfortunately, like me, you guys are also not born rich, I guess, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be watching these videos. So we have to live the hard life and actually get, you know, win that bread, I'd say. Which means we have to work. But yeah, it makes you really jealous of people who are born into rich families, because, you know, those guys can just wake up and they'll still make like millions a year from just like trust funds and investments. And I wish I had that, to be honest. But yeah. What I'm trying to say is like we should tax the rich. Let's tax the rich, guys. Yeah, so I'm very tempted to do something like this, right? So first of all, I need to actually get the list of files. So let file list. We have std file system. What can we do here? So dir builder, create dir, open dir. No. Dir, what's dir? Redirectory. Returns an iterator over the entries within a directory. The iterator will yield instances of IO result, the entry. New errors may be encountered after an iteration. This function corresponds to the opendir function. Unix. Advanced iterator corresponds to readdir on Unix. Okay. Examples. One possible implementation of walk in a directory. That's what I want to do. Visit dirs. So we have entry in readdir. The entry equals entry. Okay. So we have to get the entry. We get a path to it, and if it's a directory, else it's a file, right? Yeah, so we can do that sort of stuff as well. Oh no, a socialist. No, not a socialist. Not a socialist. Believe it or not, I like capitalism. But I like fair capitalism. That's the difference. You know, just because you're a capitalist doesn't mean you can't desire to live in a better society where everyone pays the fair share, right? Because if you think about it, the very rich don't pay tax. They pay nearly next to no tax compared to people like me and you. Small businesses for the win. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I would love to be able to have an economy where small businesses thrive. But at least here in the UK right now, that's difficult, man. Small businesses suffer quite a lot. And this is coming from someone like me who owns a small business. So yeah. I have had businesses fail before because things are very difficult. Very, very difficult. The amount of money you have to pay just to the government to get your business going, employ people and whatnot. And you see all of these very, very large, like sometimes tech companies or companies owned by like billionaires, be able to kind of not pay their fair share, especially with taxes and stuff. And yeah, it's quite disheartening. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. We're here for coding, right? Not daylight robbery here. Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah, exactly. So we got the path here. I guess for now that would be something like home, development, myself. Oh no, home, myself, development. Urchin RS in here. And views, right? That's what we're going to have. And what we want to do. I mean, this returns a result. I was hoping that we can kind of just map this to entries that we can read. Is it really a bad idea if we can't walk through a file? Because if not, right, so what we can do is, yeah, we can read that, but we can also do a map or a filter. Let's filter it. But map filter, how about that? Map filter? A filter map? No, or the iter? Oh no, never mind. We can do that. What is that going to give me? Reader. Right. Is that an iterator? Yeah, it is an iterator, right? So I guess that really what we can do is like we can do for entry in this. Yeah, there you go. So for entry, which is a result of the entry. Yeah, we can just do this entry. I love that in Rust you can do things like this, by the way. Not many languages will let you do that. Let's keep it PG. Yeah, let's keep it PG, dude. Yeah. I could go on and on about things that I find unequal in the world. And the fact is, UK is not even bad. I mean, being from Brazil, I see people really struggle there, especially people with small like companies and people who are just trying to make it. And if you talk about the poor people in there, dude, it's even like they have an even harder life than we do here in the UK. The UK is bad, but it's even worse in other parts. Problem is that the tax code is purposely complex, and that purpose is to confuse the small masses and leave loopholes for the big companies. Yeah, exactly. You hit the nail in the head, like we say in the UK. That's all I'm going to say, though. Yeah. So unless like we all decide to change, and you know take it to the streets and stuff, things will never change, right? Unless everyone is sick of it, things will never change. We'll just blame someone else. We'll blame something else. We'll blame the foreigners, right? That's what we do. We blame the foreigners instead. They're the reason why we suffer. By the way, I'm a foreigner. This is if you're watching this in the future, I'm not racist. I'm a foreigner myself. Um yeah, so their entry. So if it is if entry is what can we do with this? What can we actually do with entry? One possible implementation of walking the directory, we read the dir, we do the entry, entry.path, or we get a path from it, and then we see if it's a directory. Okay, so we can get a path if entry. And if we do a path dot is dir or is file. Okay. Oh, and then we have an ends with as well. Ends with this conf. Assert ends with resolve conf. Ah, this is amazing. Yeah, we can use those two things together. So if we have a path that is not a directory or that is not a file, right? We're going to continue. Otherwise, what we're going to do here is make sure that it doesn't, I mean, or I guess path, or it doesn't end with index dot, was it in or something? Dot index dot in, right? Oh no, dot HTML dot in. I'm hitting random nodes here and it's causing my Vim to go everywhere. Message reacted. Oh, Slim, sorry, dude. I think your message has been busted, my man. I think you should stop or you're going to be arrested. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, if I don't stream for the next like years and I come back very skinny, you know what happened, right? I was sent to the gulag. Yeah. Now we can do something like that. We can put that here so we can have something like let HTML contents, and we can have the read file to the path itself. XD long. Yeah. Yeah. I should also stop saying shit like that because that's definitely gonna get me banned from Twitter or cancelled or something. And I made a game reference, by the way, if anyone's taking it out of context, just so we know. It is a game reference. Right. So the name, what will the name be? The name, I guess the name can just be the file itself, right? So the path dot base file, file name. So it returns the final component. Yeah, let's just do the file name, right? Something like that. What is this file name returning? This is an optional OS string. Okay. Why would the file name ever be something that's not an OS string? Anyway. In game. Yeah. That's true, yeah. As long as you put in game in the end though, it's never offensive, right? That's how it works. Yeah, why would a file name be optional? That's messed up. I don't understand the logic here. Returns the final component of the path. If the path is a normal file, this is the file name. Okay, returns none if the path terminates in something. Returns none if the path terminates in ... Okay, that makes sense now. At least they explained. Okay, but So, what are we doing here? So we definitely want to extract this out. I guess we can put OK or in here. So that takes something and returns a result. Or in fact, we can put a context in here, right? So context. And now we can safely return an error that will say, could not return the context or whatever. In this case, we now need to convert the file name into a string, a stud string, or a string itself. Is it convertible to a string? I hate how we have like 7 different types of strings in Rust. It's annoying. Does that work? No, it doesn't work. I'm going to have to Google this one because I can't remember how to do it. So you don't accidentally create an infinite while loop. So if it's the previous directory, so you don't accidentally create an infinite loop, perhaps, yeah. I'm not going to read too much into it. I just know that if it terminates in ... then yeah. But, you know, this logic shouldn't create an infinite loop anyway, because if we can't parse the file, it's going to error anyway. So that's safer than blindly going forward. So OS string into string Rust. That's what I want to do. To string. Okay, yeah, I wish I just used my brain a little bit in this case. Because we can just do something like to string. And that gives us an optional string. Oh my god. I'm hating these optionals. I mean, Rust is nice sometimes, but sometimes it's painful. We're going to add a context and could not represent file name somehow. And now it should be Gucci. Right. So file name.into, we don't need that into anymore. Now the HTML itself will be the HTML content. And what do we have here? What do we have here? The trait bound by this will not. Okay, yeah, so we can't actually add the template. Or we can just do an OK here, right? And that should solve it, hopefully. Oh, maybe not. Wait, what is this returning? This is returning a result of string, right? So create a template environment. That should be an environment. I don't know what this says. Like, bro, what's this return type? Consider using a static lifetime, but this is... Consider using a static lifetime, but this is uncommon unless you're returning a borrowed value from a const. Okay, so what is that returning me? What is source, though? Impulse source. Is that going to work? Yeah. I'll just do that for now, because it's a static lifetime anyway, so it lives as long as the program lives. Programming can be either the simplest thing or you're sitting there for hours and the issue is hidden white space count. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Oh man, I'm not even gonna. I wish I could tell you things that I come across at work because they're so funny sometimes, but unfortunately I can't. But yeah, it's along those lines. Sometimes it's just a white space hidden somewhere, and it will cause you to waste 4 hours of your life. But anyway, so what's going on here? The trait app error stud error is not satisfied. Yeah, we don't need to pass in an app error here, do we? What type is this? This is a result as well. So we just have to do that, and we have to return a... And we return a template environment. Right? No. Why not? Found results. We were supposed to return a environment. What? Why can't we return that? Oh, okay. So, yeah. Wrong place to return things. Should have been here somewhere. Now, what is going on here? Path is borrowed here. Where else am I doing? Path. Path equals enter the path. Path is file. Wait, so what is the issue? Borrow occurs due to dereference of std path. Move occurred here. So we move it before. Okay, so that's fine. We can just do a clone, hopefully. And that should disappear. Cannot return value referencing a local reference. Does it? Oh yeah. What does this take, man? It takes a source string. Mini ginger, new, add template, hello. Okay, so this is complaining because template environment is a static lifetime, right? So it lives as long as, as long as the program lives, basically. That's how I describe it. If it means the same as C++. I think it does in Rust. But we can't return that because it also has a reference to the string that happens in here. So, this is an odd one. I don't know what to do here. And it does make sense because as soon as this function ends, then the lifetime of this HTML contents will end as well, and that will be basically destroyed. So you're doing a dangling reference there, which, by the way, C++ would have let me do perfectly, and there will be like a massive bug there. So this is a primary example of how good Rust is if you're talking about random memory errors. This is one of them, like dangling reference, and the compiler stopped me right here, which is good. But now I'm trying to solve it. So I could return... I guess I could return the reference to all of the files as well. Could we do that? Maybe, yeah. So we could have something like this, we have a struct environment. I think Clang would give you a warning as well, or even C++. No, not for this case, no. I mean, if it depends on which flags you have enabled, but not by default, no. You have to enable some stuff there. Struct and we can't call it environment. We can call it template env. Something like that. And then we have the environment, which will be an environment of a static lifetime. Ooh. And we can also have a vector here, right? That holds everything, I guess. And then I'm wondering if it will let me return this. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll, basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to return the strings with the environment to see if it will work. But I'm not sure now, but we can try. We can try. So let's return the buffers as well. So vec of string, right? And you can create that there. We can also do something like, yeah, this is definitely not going to work, but we'll try. So if we were to create the template env here, and we have the environment equals something, right? Template environment. Whenever we refer to that, so the template environment env our template maybe immutable. No field environment. Wait, what? Let me environment. Template environment. Let's call it that. It seemed to work actually. But instead of this, right? What I do is I add that, and can I move it to the element here? So temple env dot buffers dot push. That seems to work. So HTML content. Is it automatically going to pick the reference here? I don't think it will, right? So argument requires a path is borrowed for static. Oh my god, why does it require? File name. Add a template. That has a file name. Gosh. Why does it need to be a static string? Does it not take ownership of that? No, it doesn't. It takes ownership of the source, which is static. Yeah, in this case, I can do something like, is there a pair in this, a tuple? What is the tuple type in Rust? We do have a pair though. Yeah, we do have tuples. What am I saying? Of course we have tuples. It's just that. It's just like Python. So we have a string and a string, right? So what I'm trying to do is something like, the file name here. That way we store all the information wherever we need to. Which should have the same lifetime as these, right? I don't know. That's what I'm trying. To be honest, I don't know if it's gonna work, but we will try. This is a very difficult lifetime issue though. So we've got path here. I mean, like, alternatively, right, we could just pass the template in here and create it above the stack. Oh yeah, but the problem is that the file name on the HTML content will be referenced to, which isn't ideal. So we've got string found string, right? And toString, yeah, okay. So we can have the file name borrowed here. What does it have to be? I should learn Kotlin or Java, get to. Should I learn Kotlin or Java? I can't answer that, man. I don't really know any of those. Yeah, I mean, why? File name does not live long enough. Borrowed value does not live long enough. File name dropped here while still borrowed. So we are borrowing. Like, we have to move these before. And now we have to reference them in here. So tempo env dot buffers dot last. Is that a thing? What does that return me? Hopefully a reference. Yay, it's a reference. We should have just added them in there, to be honest. Name and content. So we have a string. Yeah, good. I mean, HTML content does not live long enough. Yes, it freaking does. It does. Oh yeah, the name and the content. I can't have it. I'm not going to be able to cheat the compiler, am I? Cannot borrow temple environments. Buffers are immutable because it's also borrow. Wait, cannot borrow temple buffers as mutable because it's also borrow as immutable. Like where? In here. Last mute. Does that work? Can I borrow temple buffers as mutable more than once? Okay. I can't have it both ways, boys. Okay. I can do it in a separate loop and try to kind of cheat this, I guess. So we can borrow temple buffers as mutable because it's also borrowed as immutable. What if I just push it here, right? What if I just push it there? And then I add the template later on. Is that going to work? That works fine, right? But what if I now did something like for name and buffer name, buffer contents in temple env dot buffers? Does that work? And if I do this now, buffer name does not live long enough. Okay, that's better now. Oh, tempo event does not live. Tempo buffer does not live long enough. Borrow value does not live long enough. Tempo buffers dropped here while still borrowed. Argument that requires tempo buffers is borrowed for static. What? Yo, what's up? Hello, Muslight. Unfortunately, I'm about to leave the stream. This is a problem that I need to solve on my own. I need to figure out this lifetime issue here. But the problem is that I'm trying to. You're returning a local buffer and adding it to the temple end. Yeah, so the idea is, right, so the environment thing this here, this is a static lifetime, right? So he lives as long as he exists, basically. But this needs a reference to a string and a string of contents, which are the HTML files we read in. If I read them in a function here, that means the name and the contents will be, removed or dropped when the function ends, or even before that. But I am trying to copy them to a buffer that I will return within the environment. So we should have a reference valid there. So I'm basically trying to cheat the borrow checker in here, because in a way that should work really, but obviously it doesn't straight away. No problem, I just sit and say hello. Yeah, no worries, man. I always like having you here, man. Not copying it. Why not just copy it to the templates? I can't copy it. So this add template takes a reference. This is just by design. And this is not a library that I created, unfortunately. So I have to, you can see here, I have to pass a static string in this case, which is unfortunate. But yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. I will figure this out though. This is just some Rust that I have to. Before you go, Matt, any suggestions on sources to learn Rust? Yeah, dude. So there is a very good source to learn Rust, and it's absolutely free. It's called the Rust book. So if the Rust by example, or is it the Rust book? In fact, is freely available to everyone, and it's all written in Markdown, and it's very like bite-sized, very small bite. Let's rephrase that. It's written in small bite-sized Markdown chunks, so you can just look at how to install it, and then you read the entire thing in like an hour. You go through it, and then you go back to the you go forwards onto the next one. This is where I started it from. To be honest, I read some of it, like the parts that were important to me. Like obviously you're not going to read all of it, but for sure read like the initial concepts here, and then you go on to smart pointers, common collection, so you can learn things about vectors, maps, and hash maps and whatnot. Error handling is very important. Just jump onto the things that you actually want to learn as you go. But yeah, I mean, this is probably the best resource you're going to get today. That's like free. I do have some O'Reilly books as well that are very good. But to be honest, I can get all of that information on this website. So just use this one. Can you please read my message when I tagged you at the top before you go? Yeah, of course, man. Sorry, I may have missed messages. You're returning a local buffer and adding it to the temple. Yeah. So that's the that's the problem. The problem that it thinks I'm doing now. But actually, I am not actually returning a local variable, because by returning temple here, the local variable that was owned, that owns temple env, holds the data for the string as well. So in a way, this should move everything out. I'm not sure if you see what I mean. So, std move in C++, that's what this does here. That's what Rust does by default when it did something like this. So it shouldn't be referencing a local variable per se. It should be referencing the lifetime that is going to be on the return value. And this is just something I'm missing. So I will have to see that. And unfortunately, it won't be on here. You may have to scroll up. Oh, the previous message. Oh, no worries, man. Would using Redis be a good way to represent game state? I mean, not to make things parallel, but to ensure reliability. I'm thinking of running multiple instances of the game logic service, and when one crashes, the other can hop in and the server does not get lost. Kotlin is new. Okay. Redis is the messaging system, right? I mean, why would that... the truth is, I've never really used Redis, so I don't really know. But let's just see what it does, and maybe I can give you my opinion on this. What is Redis? Yeah, it's a caching system, right? Stands for Remote Dictionary Server. It's a fast open source database that stores data in memory instead of on a disk or solid state drive. It's often, it's a caching system, right? In fact, is it not the one that had a bunch of issues with the licensing? But yeah, dude, it may work. Redis is the in-memory database. Yeah, it may work. But do you want to bring all of this to your game? Like sometimes game state can be very simply represented, right? Like if you think of any complex game, man, there isn't a lot of state per se to carry. Redis is used in enterprises quite a bit because generally they have a lot of data that they want to cache, right? But for your game, I don't really know. Like, what are you gonna have? The game of lives, or the number of lives you have. Perhaps which level you're on, the number of I don't know, like add-ons that you've collected or whatnot. I mean, stored, not represented. Yeah, that's what I mean. So, you know, if you have a lot of state, then sure. But, you know, if you don't have that much state, if you only have like essentially like, let's say 50 or less variables you want to track, then I'm not sure if it's reasonable to bring all the complexity of Redis when you can just like do a memory dump on the whole thing and then just read it again. What you may want to do is look at some libraries, some serializing libraries instead, if you don't want to do that manual work, because you know doing caching in C++ is difficult, and you may not want to do that. There are so many libraries like that. There are serial, in fact, serial for C++. This is what a very good library that you can use. There is a little bit more buffed up libraries as well, so like protobuf, flat buffers by Google. These may be your next point instead of going directly to Redis, I would say, because Redis is big, right? I have seen it. I've never used it, but I have seen it, and it's used in enterprises when people have a lot of things they want to cache. I'm not sure if that's your case though, if you just have a game, but yeah, my first kind of opinion would be keep it simple. Can you do it just as a memory dump and then read it? Yeah, it will be for multiplayer game. Yeah, I understand that. So can you do a memory dump and then send the state over the network if you have to share state? If not, can you do something like flat buffers or whatever? Or even better, serial, which is more lightweight, and then just send it across and deserialize on the other end. Yeah, I need to share data between processes and keep it fast. Yeah, I understand what you mean, but I guarantee you that the Redis will be a lot slower than just using something like Google Protobuf or flat buffers. In fact, these libraries are known for being very, very quick. So yeah. The truth is, the more complexity you add, the slower it will be. Even though Redis claims to be very fast, it's still very slow compared to the like lower level alternatives. But what if the instance fails and the data gets lost? Just resend it. Just resend it. It's not that difficult, right? That's why you use UDP. Most games work on UDP, right? So you send data, game data, networking time in UDP. The core idea of UDP is that if you drop a packet, you don't care because you're going to send another one in like 0.001 seconds anyway. So it doesn't matter if you lost one. Yeah. Now, if this was a banking app instead, and if you wanted to make sure that you are reliably sending messages to all of your customers, then yeah, for sure, use Redis. Go for it. But what if the game server itself crashed? Then I don't see how Redis is going to help, because Redis is probably going to be running on the same server. Well, if you have it on a separate server, but if your AWS server crashed, chances are that your Redis server probably also crashed, right? If it's off, then game would be lost. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, just save it. Just do a memory dump and save it somewhere. I don't know. It's up to you, man. Obviously, you know the details of your game, and if you have a lot of things that you want to cache, then yeah, sure, go for Redis. If you just have like a couple of things you wanna track, then I don't know. I personally wouldn't do it straight to Redis if it makes sense. I would try and like keep it simple for start. But anyway, with that said, I'm gonna call it a day, guys. So thank you very much for watching the stream. I'll write you on Discord. I think I'm getting through I think I'm not getting through here. Yeah, maybe. I don't want to keep you for long. No, don't worry, man. No worries. Yeah, let's talk on Discord. I'll definitely be up in the morning tomorrow. I'm gonna try and get some sleep now and some reading, but I will be available tomorrow for sure, all day. Anyway, thank you again for joining, dude. It was nice talking to you, and for the others watching as well, thank you for joining. I will see you guys in the next stream. Have a good Sunday, and bye bye.